and the spirit of Ultimate Warrior will run forever!
Kyle here, and it is Saturday, and you know what that means. It's time for all the toy news, action figure news of the week that interested me and hopefully interest you. We've got another week of toy news here. Got some wrestling, got some NECA, got some McFarlane, got some G.I. Joe, got some He-Man, got all the usual suspects. But before we dive into the toy news, we got some housekeeping, and of course, got to thank our good friends, Jay'sToysAndGames.com. Use code Kyle, save yourself 15% on all in-stock items. And I was over there. They had so much stuff this week. Another huge week of weekly purchases tomorrow. So check out weekly purchases. But Jay's got a ton of new stuff. I always say it, be checking that new arrivals every single day for all the new things. And they did add something brand new to their website. I was listening in and talking to the guys over there at Jay's Toys and Games this week, finding out a little bit about this. But now they have a new section in their action figure section on their website called Carded Classics. And they're going to put stuff up just randomly here and there because Jay's isn't just a new place like Entertainment Earth, a big bad toy store. They have all the new stuff, as we've seen, but they have tons and tons of stuff in their warehouse. They have 3 brick and mortar stores, and they have tons and tons of different items from Star Wars, He-Man, Turtles, you name it, wrestling, everything in between. They have a new Carded Classics segment on their website. So you go over there, of course, using code Kyle, you can save 15% on some classic things. They put up some early Mattel Legends this week from the WWE line, a lot of classic Star Wars stuff, a new thing on their website, all kinds of stuff as they're working to get a lot of that inventory of older things on their website as well, just not new. So man, oh man, check out Jay's Toys and Games. Tell them Kyle saying use the code, save yourself 15% with code Kyle. You guys know the drill by now. Also want to give a plug, Safe Haven's Toy Show. My good buddy Joe, a good friend of the channel, longtime Patreon member, he has a friend running a toy show. It looks to be in New York, Hopewell Junction. Obviously, I'm not super familiar with the New York area, but it is a fundraiser to help shelter dogs. So that's always good. You know me, I'm a dog lover. It looks like it's August 10th, and Enzo Amore is going to be there. So if you're in the neck of the woods, head over there to that toy show. Should be fun. You're helping the dogs out there, and you can see the realest guy in the room in person if you want to with Enzo Amore. So check that out if you want to. Of course, Patreon, the best way to support this channel. Appreciate all the Patreon support out there. The August giveaway this month is truly heavy duty. It is heavy duty G.I. Joe Classified series. So hopefully you win this. Check out the Patreon. You get everything over there early at Patreon and YouTube channel memberships as well. We got all the glamour shots. Of course, you get a monthly Q&A. You get all kinds of bonus stuff. You get all of the videos much earlier than traditional YouTube. You also get my podcast, The Kyle Peterson Show, 4 or 5 days earlier before it hits traditional podcast platforms and, of course, YouTube. This week, quite the podcast. I chipped my tooth live on the podcast. Can you believe that? Those no good Zagnut bars. Todd McFarlane, you said those Zagnuts were great. Man, oh man, Zagnut, nothing but trouble for me. Chipped my back tooth, just a corner of the back tooth. Man, oh man, I was not happy about it. I'm still not happy. I'll never recover. I'll never recover from it. But we do talk about that among many other things. And then this week is a episode that's been, I guess, a couple of weeks in the making. We had to skirt tail the format when Ozzy died and the Hulkster died, changed up some stuff. Now we're a little bit back on track. So we do have that episode coming this Tuesday, or as I said, right now on podcast. Check it out, The Kyle Peterson Show, wherever podcasts are found. A lot of people checking it out. Appreciate all the support out there. Give the old 5-star review. Gives it a thumbs up. All that kind of fun stuff. You guys know the drill by now. So that's a little bit of housekeeping right there. I don't think we got anything else really going on as far as housekeeping goes. Busy times as usual here. Burning the candle at both ends. I got a lot of travel in the next couple of weeks, so it should be fun in the toy hunt videos on the channel. And you guys know a lot of videos on the channel, a lot of toy hunts. I still got a Toys R Us video that I got to post on the channel, so you'll get that eventually. But how about we dive into some wrestling news? We got a little bit of everything this week, including our friends over there at Powertown, Todd McFarlane. Get your toes ready for that one. But we're going to dive in. We're going to start with AEW Jazzwares first this go around. Orange Cassidy earlier this week, the Target exclusive that we talked about a week or 2 weeks ago, What Is Time, that they were up there in Canada. Looks like they're hitting right here. Those are, of course, starting to hit Target, but they are up online. I saw reports, people finding that new kill switch at Target, so be on the lookout if you're after some of those AEW figures. Should be hitting Target fairly soon right now. And we do know, we've been talking about this for the last month or so, Target resets, Walmart resets going on right now. Your mileage may vary on your stores. Most of the time, they have 3 to 4 weeks to get the reset done, as we do know. Walmart going really big. I've seen some images of like these old school Toys R Us bubbles with figures inside there, a gondola they're going to put out there. Maybe that's a good idea for as we ramp up for Christmas, the holiday, the collector's con, things like that. A lot of people finding stuff at Walmart, including myself, that you'll see in weekly purchases tomorrow as well. So if you're on the hunt, now's the time to be on the hunt for sure. We also know today, if you're watching this Saturday as it drops, and if you're not, you're out of luck. Last day for the AEW Big Rubber guys. I don't think we'll ever hear details of how well these sold, but I've heard from many of people that were turned off by the price point, the shipping, and then the Hangman Page coupon fiasco. I was guilty of that as well. I ended up pulling the trigger, buying the 4, but I feel like I need to get the Chase ones now. It's just going to be a whole rigmarole, as we do say. I don't know how well these are going to do with all of that kind of stuff. I don't know if the fan base wants to roll the dice on that. And I guarantee there's somebody out there that's going to get a bloody Hangman or a Tony Storm Chase. Say, man, I didn't want this. Now I missed the chance to get the regular Tony Storm. And then they're going to be upset and mad. We saw a little bit of that with the Demolition, where somebody got like an Axe Chase and a regular Smash. They want them to match. So I don't know. We'll see where it all ends up going. We'll see what happens with Series 2. A lot going on in the Big Rubber guys. We'll talk about them here in a little bit. But that's it for AEW. No, one last thing for AEW, I should say. Will Ospreay Supreme, Jazzwares Vault, shared exclusive with our friends at Ringside Collectibles. Use discount code Kyle, save yourself 10%. We got some new images of that Will Ospreay up there on Ringside. A 2-in-1 figure, so really you got to pick up 2 of these if you ask me. It looks pretty good, I will say. So if you're after that Will Ospreay, get your order in over at Ringside. Save 10% with code Kyle, as you know. And no Mattel news this week. I guess they're taking it off. It's like they didn't show enough at San Diego Comic-Con a couple of weeks ago. They showed us a lot of stuff there, so they deserve a week off if anybody ever did. I guess we'll see what they got for us next week. But this week, it's all about those bobbleheads. Yes, Todd McFarlane, the bobbleheads. And I'm just a bobbleheads guy at the end of the day from FOCO. Apparently, 1/100 Ultimate Warrior. Oh, you're barking up the right tree with this one. Unfortunately, it's $100. And I just, as much as I love an Ultimate Warrior, as much as I love a good bobblehead, not $100. This can't do that right now, especially with all the expensive, all these HasLabs and all that kind of stuff we're funding. We'll get more on that later in this video as well. Can't do it. But man, if you're all in on the Warrior, you're all in on the bobbleheads, you got to get this one right here. Moving on to some of the retro style figures. This one came out of left field this week. Title Run Toys. Now, that's the line, for whatever reason, for me, is always out of sight, out of mind. I always forget about it. I always remember the KWKs, the grapplers and gimmicks, of course, the figure collections out there, the zombie sailors, of course, the Mattel retros, and a few points in between. But for some reason, I don't know what it is, Title Run Toys is always kind of off my radar a little bit. I planned to pre-order Series 1, totally forgot about it. However, once again, you'll see it in weekly purchases tomorrow. I did pick up Series 1, so we will unbox those. We will check them out on the channel. But they announced last week Nikita Koloff, Harley Race for Series 2. Of course, Mike McGurk's going to be in that series. And now a fairly big heavy hitter that we haven't had a figure from since maybe LJN, Adrian Adonis, the adorable one. Now, personally, I'd rather have the biker version of Adrian Adonis, and I'm sure we'll probably get both, but we do got Adrian Adonis coming, so that's an interesting one. Could we see him from Pickup with Grapplers and Gimmicks, KWK, Big Rubber guys? Could we see more Adrian Adonises in the future? That's going to be something to keep an eye out for there. I don't know in the grand pantheon of collectors and being up front in the world if Adrian Adonis is right up there, though. So I don't know where that ends up going. But it's a cool gift for Title Run Toys for sure. It's been a long time, 40 years at least maybe. By the time this comes out, we'll see what happens there. Top Rope Collectibles, of course, giving us that WCW Galoob throwback style figures. Coming in extra hot with a current talent this week in one Danhausen. Of course, good friend of the channel, Danhausen. Sure, why not? But we do got Danhausen coming to this line. Looks interesting. Well, I shouldn't even say it looks interesting. They gave us an image of Danhausen coming, but I don't think that's what they're going to do. I guess we'll wait and see how they end up going to business on that one. Of course, Mitch over there, Grapplers and Gimmicks, the hustle man. It's not just a gimmick. He really is, and he's hustling with some more. We got Santa Claus and Balls Mahoney around the way. Of course, both characters. Well, wasn't he the Christmas tree or the Christmas creature too along the way? Or was that or maybe that was Kane, actually. But Santa Claus and balls, I think that makes sense. I'm here for some balls. I love balls. Todd McFarlane loves balls. We all love balls, of course. We're like a young AC/DC over here is what we are. We got balls coming, and we got Santa Claus. I do think a bit of a miss with him releasing that Santa Claus figure, and I'm all in on that Santa Claus figures. I want to get one of those in my collection. I think you should have released it around the holiday time, maybe October or something, and that's what I'm hoping they're going to do with the Santa Claus. It'd be great to come in November and give you the Christmas feel. It makes sense, feels like you'd sell maybe some more around there. And if I'm Mitch over there at Grapplers and Gimmicks, I would have that Santa figure an evergreen figure. So we'll see where that all ends up going, but we got some stuff from Grapplers and Gimmicks. We got them every single week, as we do know by now. We also got a little bit of major Bendies news here. See if I can find a little note I saved here. Now, a lot of people have been messaging me lately saying, what's up with their ship dates? And one thing I can tell you about the major Bendies team, maybe they're not out there telling you, hey, there's delays. However, unlike our friends at Powertown, Todd McFarlane, they do update their website fairly regularly. So they got an update here. This is from 7/14 was the last update. Big Rubber Guys Series 10, Bad News Brown, Rock and Roll Express, July. Well, unfortunately, we're in August right now. We're past July, so I don't know what's going on. But however, I will say I've heard of people getting bad news in their mailbox. So some people do have bad news already. I think if you had them with Rock and Roll Express, they're tied up. They're waiting for the Rock and Roll Express to come in. But it looks like those just came in, so they should be shipping soon. So they said July. Unfortunately, it is early August. And we know people are very much worked up about these time frames right now. We heard about the Asylum toys. We definitely hear about it from Powertown. And Powertown affects me the most because maybe you are like me as well. I've got over $1,000 tied up in Powertown for a year plus at this point. It gets a little aggravating here. We did see Big Rubber Guys Series 11, Arn Anderson, Tully Blanchard, Missy Hyatt, and Rick Martel. It says August, so they are definitely on the clock. Hopefully those get here by August. They can keep that timeline. Series 12 Demolition for September, same thing there. Hopefully they can keep the timeline. And then September, Haku, Tonga Kid, Bruiser Brody, Kerry Von Erich. So we'll see what happens there. Hopefully those timelines stick. Hopefully there's no delays or anything. But once again, if you ever want updates, you go to the Collect Major website. They do have a link there that gives you the updates on how things are turning and burning or not turning and burning, depending. Finishing it off with some retro news here. Figure collections shipping right now. I should have mine any day. Figure collections, I also ordered the Epic figures from, so I will have those sets. Plus, I'll have the Crush, Manser, Steph DeLander, Scotty 2 Hottie, and I think I even ordered the Crush variant, if I'm not mistaken. A lot of retro figures when you add on the Title Run Toys ones to unbox here on the channel the next couple of weeks, so stay tuned for that. As usual, Patreon members, you're going to get those a lot earlier. You guys have seen my haul last week from San Diego Comic-Con, and then a big one this week. I can only unbox so many things. 4 a day is too many, if you ask me. Trying to keep up on it, but Patreon members, you get that stuff a lot earlier, as you know, so you can get ahead and sneak peek on some of that kind of stuff. But they did throw a little bit of a twist there with some Steph DeLander and Manser. Old Manser, of course. Different bloody versions, which is pretty cool. So options there. I'm going to have to bow out of being a completionist on a lot of these. They're too expensive, and I don't mind getting one Manser, and I'd really like to have the extra bloody one, but 3 different ones, that's a tough game to play. But we'll see. Maybe a deal, maybe a Black Friday sale on some of these. I can play the long game, try to catch up. We'll see what ends up happening there. But if you're after any of these from Figure Collections, including the Epic Toys, head over to Figure Collections. Use code Kyle. Save yourself 10%. Once again, got to get a deal. But now, it's the update everybody's been waiting for. It's time for a Powertown update.
Are you ready for pain? Are you ready for suffering?
All right, it's time for our favorite portion of the week. It is time for the Powertown update. And Todd, you were just telling me you got tracking for your Powertown figures? Your Pound Town figures? I don't know what Pound Town is. There's some guy in the comments talking about Pound Town all the time. I'm not sure what that is. Ooh, I can't repeat what that is. So you guys are getting confused. You and that guy in the comments need to get together. But unfortunately, nothing from Powertown. The Remco's, once again, supposed to ship in July. Not happening. Of course, July has passed. Will they hit August? My gut says no. I said a couple of weeks ago, I bet you it's going to be September. That's when I figure I'll have them in my hand. Maybe they'll arrive in August, take, 3 weeks to ship, whatever it is, get them in September. We'll see. Fingers crossed on that. But there was a lot of people wigging out this week because there was the Gathering Wrestling Convention last weekend. Magnum TA, good friend of the channel. It's your favorite guy that lives in his dad's basement that speaks to 12 people. Magnum, I'm here. I'm doing my thing. But Magnum was out at the Gathering, so kudos to Magnum for getting out there. I got nothing against Magnum. I just got stuff against their business practices of the Power Town. But Magnum was there showing off the Remcos, and a lot of people taking him to task. Oh, showing them off, promoting them when you don't give them to the customers. I totally do get that. But it wasn't Magnum's picture that was posted. It was Kerry Morton's. That's the other guy that was with him right there. Son of one Ricky Morton, of course. So it wasn't really Magnum putting that picture out, but still, he did bring him to the event, was showing him off to people. I don't know where this whole thing is going. I hope it's not a megalopolis situation or something like that. I guess we're going to find out sooner rather than later, you would have to think. But hopefully these are our way soon. They said they were going to fly them over by air. Something tells me they're going by boat. I think they still will be. And they'll say, oh yeah, we got them by air. When nope, they got them by boat, and they just say they got them in air. And it's a wild thing with Power Town. We've just uncovered so many lies, so many, dare I say, conspiracies along the way. You guys know how it is. And I did hear this week from a retro company that will not be named that he has talked to some of the Power Town talent, and some of those Power Town talents have been let go out of their agreements. Their agreements, they have broken. They said, where is my money? Where are my figures? Where is all this stuff? They let them go from Power Town. So not everything is the way it seems with Power Town. And yeah, I guess it seems real bad. So maybe it is really the way it seems. So there's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes. We're not privy to it all, but obviously things are going on. At the end of the day, I don't care anything about that business stuff. Just give me my figures. I want to move on from this. I want to stop talking about Power Town. If they come out with pre-orders in the future, we'll talk about them again. I don't know how well that'll be, but that's the Power Town update this week. There's heat on Magnum for showing off the figures, Power Town talent flying away, and Todd's got some Pound Town stuff coming in the mailbox. So there you go. Who knows what's going on there? But now we get to pivot away from wrestling. We get to go to my favorite. We get to go to G.I. Joe in the classified line. Man, oh man, if you've been following along on the channel, it's been almost like a G.I. Joe a day. It's just amazing time over here. Got to unbox Flint, a Televiper, Cover Girl, Slice and Dice, Awe Striker, and finally this week, the HasLab Rattler came. Unboxed that. We unboxed, of course, Baroness, the Gunner, and Wild Weasel as well on the channel. Just so many Joes coming at us all the time. I'm just dodging Joes left and right. It's like I'm at a WNBA game dodging something else. It's kind of like that. But I'm very excited for these Joes. Got Snake Eyes and the Polar Bear here any day now. There's just a lot of good stuff coming from the Joe brand. But we did get official word here Friday, mid-morning for me, depending on where you're at, different time, of course. Snowcat has been funded. So we got, let's call it a week left. We'll see if we can get some of these tiers done. We always know the last night, it always does have a good jump. So hopefully we get at least, what am I saying? Hopefully we get at least. We need to get Flint. What are we talking about here? We need to get the third one so we can get Flint. But it's a great thing if you got the Snowcat, if it can get more, because you're getting more bang for your buck, obviously. Here, as of right now, you're paying for it and just getting the base offering. Wouldn't it be nice if others, of course, got in on this and we got more things with it? We'll see where it goes. Not looking the best, as we have said here on the channel, but we'll see where it goes. But we at least got the Snowcat coming, so we'll prepare for that about a year from now or so. Now we're moving over to another crowdfund going on, and there was a video up on Mattel Creations this week walking us through it, the design, going us through the paces. It is, of course, the Masters Universe Snake Layer. It's one that's been a roller coaster. People excited, disappointed, excited, confused, excited, disappointed, dropping the tears down, giving us the horse creature. Now we're excited again. Seems to be going pretty good. We'll stay tuned to this one here. Hopefully it will fund. I think August 14th is like the early bird funding, so you got to fund by then. That's what I'm going to do. I'll have it funded by then for me personally. But it looks like we got another Masters Universe playset coming. We also should have the Fright Zone here at the table here, maybe in the next week or so. Who knows? That could come in my mailbox today. I know it is shipped already, so we'll see where that one goes. But we're not done with Masters of the Universe. We got some disappointing Masters of the Universe news right now. Got another update from Mondo. So this follows everything I've ordered from Mondo over the last year that hasn't shipped has been delayed. Well, we got another one, the Goddess here, delayed till October now. So I don't know if that's them playing the tariff game, the Tarif game. The Tarif game, if they're playing that, saying, okay, if we ship 2 weeks later, a month later, it's going to be this price compared to this price, trying to get the most out of their shipping money. Maybe, I'm not exactly sure, but it's been delayed till October. And then this week, it did go up for order. We got a limited window through about the rest of this month. We saw it, of course, at San Diego Comic-Con. It is the Deluxe She-Ra and Swiftwind. Now, this is expensive. It's about the same that we got with Scaremare and, of course, Scareglow, which is an all-timer. An all-timer. We unboxed it on the channel. Check it out. However, and the plot twist here is it's all the extras that are thrown on there. We got the $28 shipping. You know, I like the shipping to be free. We got taxes, $54 on top of that. I don't like to pay taxes, and nobody does. But then the big one here, you got a $70 tariff charge on top of that. So you add all that, you add the price of the figure and the horse, you're at $950 for this. $950, almost $1,000 for She-Ra Swiftwind. I'm out, unfortunately. It breaks my heart to do it. I was all in on the line. I was all in on the Mondo Masters of the Universe. I have them all. I've got them all in my collection. We've unboxed them all. I got a lot to still come. But unfortunately, I'm going to have to bow out of being a completionist, at least as of right now, unless there's a deal down the road or something changes, or maybe somebody sells it on eBay for $700, whatever it may be. There's no way I'm paying $1,000 this time of year. There's back to school. There's K-pop concerts to go to. Oh my gosh, check out the podcast next week about that. Trying to financially recover from my wife going on her vacation and me going to San Diego Comic-Con and all points in between. It's a tough time for another $1,000 thrown on because, at the end of the day, you got to pay for your garage door to get fixed or your air conditioning to get fixed over Swiftwind and She-Ra. Now, if this was a deluxe Flint figure, there'd be no question. I would say, okay, time to go donate plasma, do what I got to do. But I'm not that invested in She-Ra and Swiftwind like I am in the Masters of the Universe or some other properties. So it sucks to let this one pass me by, but no choice at this point in time. And I have a feeling, something tells me a lot of you and maybe people that aren't watching this are going to be a lot like me that collect this line, that I'd really like it, but that's too rich for my blood. I don't like She-Ra that much. And it's one thing to get a little She-Ra for, the display shelf. To get one that's this big, to give that real estate, that is tough sell as well. We do know there's a cartoon collection one coming to Mattel Creations, I believe this September. That's going to have to do for me and maybe you as well. So that's a little He-Man update this week. And a good NECA update this week. Some stuff we saw at San Diego Comic-Con. Vincent Price Black and White Edition. Now I regret buying 3 of that Vincent Prices over there at Jay's Toys and Games, saving 15%, of course. I regret buying 3. I wish I would have only bought 2 and then saved one for the Black and White Edition. But it is what it is. I will pick this one up. That was one of the best figures of last year. Have to imagine this will be one of the best figures of this year as well. We also saw a very cool one here in a property that I absolutely love. My favorite movie of all time is The Devil's Rejects. I've made it proud and loud and clear for everybody. Like a Young Today's special, I've shouted it loud and clear. Baby and Tiny are coming to the NECA line. These look a little suspect, though, unfortunately. I hate to say that because I'm such a fan of the property here. These look very low-grade articulation. Improvements over the last ones from a decade plus ago, but not the ultimate we want with our NECA ones here. So these are a little bit less than, but the pricing is the same as everything else. That could hurt sales on these. So we'll see. Baby, Tiny coming in hot. I will be picking those up. There's no doubt about it there. Have to have that. And then another one that's kind of zombie related. This time, though, we're going to the classic version of the Munsters. So we get Grandpa Munster and Herman Munster coming to the line. I need to talk to my dad about this. I think my dad would pick these ones up. So we'll see what ends up happening there. But cool to get these guys in the line. Be cool to get the rest of the Munsters. I think they'll probably just make the family and call it good there. I would have to think. And last but certainly not least this week from NECA, Ben Cooper kids, get off my yard, you Ben Cooper kids. They're multiplying every single day. We saw a ton at San Diego Comic-Con. It's a tough line. It's a fun line, though. There's so many coming at us all the time. But this week, they did officially announce Kiss. Yes, Kiss. And a lot of people said, when are they going to do it? When are they going to do it? Have to imagine these will be the best-selling Ben Cooper kids of all time. I think Kiss resonates with a lot of people, and Kiss is one of those bands that have die-hard, crazy fan-base collectors. So this is one of those ones you want to get your pre-order in for. I don't think you want to play the long game on the Kiss Ben Cooper kids. And if you're a reseller, you're a guy that collects for value, I can see these Kiss ones going a pretty penny down the line. We've seen that many a times with Kiss different action figures. So take a look at that. Vote with your wallet, as we do say. Can't wait to get those Kiss Ben Cooper kids in my collection as well. And then last but not least, it is Todd McFarlane on the couch this week. Todd, my voice is almost shot. I can't give you a hard time this week. I had to go to the San Diego Comic-Con of grocery events this week. So, of course, loud, and I had to scream and yell and talk and shake hands, kiss babies all day. So it wears your voice out, your vocal cords. And I'm a guy that talks a lot. Go figure, who knows? So I'm a little worn down. So I'm laying off Todd this week a little bit here. But Todd came in hot with Todd McFarlane. His reimagining, I guess not re-releases, but doing this again. It feels like deja vu, Iron Maiden style. It is Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat, we saw at San Diego Comic-Con at the McFarlane event. Took pictures of those, some video of those. Check out those videos. but we saw Liu Kang, Katana, Scorpion, Sub-Zero, Melina 2-pack. So they're going all in. They're putting all the chips in on Mortal Kombat. I think they're seeing the success of the Street Fighter Jada Toys line and saying, hey, we need to get back in the saddle again like a young Aerosmith with the Mortal Kombat property. Unfortunately, don't scale with Jada. It would have been really fun to have Jada have Mortal Kombat figures in that same universe. The ultimate crossover we haven't had since the G.I. Joe days back in like the 90s, of course. But these do look good for what they are. As of right now, I'm passing. We'll see what happens in the future. Maybe if I see them in person, maybe it'll change my mind. But I don't think so. I don't know. You can only collect so much, as we do know. And I did sell all my Mortal Kombat figures. So hard to say goodbye 11 or something like that, whatever. And I've got one of those in the books. So be ready for another So Hard to Say Goodbye. It's not what you think. Not what you think. A lot of people saying, oh, it's going to be those Fraggle Rocks. Oh no, those Fraggles are staying with me. It's something else. So you have to stay tuned in the future for that. But that's it. That's the toy news this week. Fairly slow, but we usually see a little bit of slowdown here at the end of July into August. People are trying to take vacation. People getting ready for back to school. Slows down just a little bit here for a while. And of course, coming off of San Diego Comic-Con. But what news are you excited about? What are you excited to pick up out of this? Let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channels, both of my YouTube channels. Check out Patreon. Check out YouTube channel memberships if you want to support the channel. SirPaul64 on the X, _Kyle_Peterson on Threads, Instagram, TikTok, and of course, TheKylePetersonShow at gmail.com. And of course, The Kyle Peterson Show is, of course, the weekly podcast that I do each and every Tuesday where podcasts are found. Video cast on YouTube. My wife, Angie, is there every week looking only like she can look. And trust me, it's how she wants to look. I don't tell her what to wear as much as people don't believe that. You guys think I'm just all powerful. I'm like the Wizard of Oz or something. I'm definitely not the Wizard of Oz. I don't got any control. My wife, she's a hard one to tame, as you can imagine. So shout out to Angie, and you'll see Angie in weekly purchases tomorrow. But join Angie and I every single week on The Kyle Peterson Show. All kinds of stuff to dive into over there. So there it is, another week of the toy news. And you know what I'm doing? I'm rocking and rolling, strutting and strolling my way into another weekend.
Well, are we going to dance or are we going to play?